If you've seen the latest headlines about the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 getting two big camera upgrades, pump the brakes. The story sounds exciting: 50MP ultrawide, a telephoto bump, and a camera package meant to outshine Apple's rumored foldable, but several red flags suggest this leak is more wishful thinking than a reliable roadmap. Here's a grounded, engineering-first breakdown of why the Galaxy Z Fold 8 camera leaks deserve serious skepticism and what's actually more plausible. For Samsung's 2026 foldable lineup, Dr. claims everyone's repeating 50MP ultrawide replacing the Fold 7's 12MP ultrawide at telephoto, moving from 10MP to 12MP while staying at 3x optical zoom 200MP. Main camera unchanged, 10MP selfie, and 10MP cover camera unchanged. The internal coding names Q8, regular Fold 8, and H8, a wider variant on paper. That looks like a neat two-camera bump without rocking the boat. In reality, there are multiple inconsistencies that should make you cautious. Red flag. #1. 50MP ultrawide doesn't necessarily mean better or bigger sensor size versus megapixels. A 50MP count doesn't guarantee a larger sensor. Samsung's 50MP ISOCELL options include compact sensors like JN1, 64 micrometers that are actually smaller than many 1-2MP units. That can mean more noise, not less, especially at the edges of an ultra-wide lens where optics are most stressed. Larger 50MP lens is a technical mismatch. The leak's wording confuses sensor and lens. If a source mixes up fundamentals, treat the rest of the claims with caution. Foldable constraints. Ultra-wide modules need space to control distortion and vignetting. Foldables prioritize thinness and hinge tolerances over tall camera stacks. Going truly larger on an ultra-wide sensor conflicts with Samsung's ongoing goals to make the Fold thinner and lighter. Red flag #2. Telephoto upgrade. From 10MP to 12MP at the same 3x is marketing, not meaningful same optical zoom. Marginal pixel bump. A move from 10MP to 12MP. With no change in optics, still 3x rarely delivers a visible improvement. Image quality hinges more on sensor size, lens quality, stabilization, and the ISP than on a minimal pixel bump. Space reality check. True telephoto gains on a foldable need larger sensors or longer focal periscope, both of which add thickness. Samsung has historically avoided bulky periscope hardware in the Fold line to keep the device pocketable. Red flag #3. Selfie details are murky, and that matters. The Fold line has two front cameras, a cover selfie, and an under-display camera, UDC, on the inner screen. Saying both remain 10MP glosses over a critical distinction. If the UDC stays low res, as it has historically, that inner camera experience still lags, which contradicts the narrative of a major upgrade year. If Samsung actually plan a serious camera year, the UDC will be a prime candidate for improvement, not a footnote. Red flag #4. Mixing S-series camera assumptions into the Fold. Doesn't track cross-pollinating sensors from the flagship S-series into a foldable is not just a drop-in move. The Fold's thermal envelope, battery space, and hinge mechanics complicate thick or power-hungry modules. Claims that the Fold 8 will mirror the S25 Ultra's ultra-wide also ignore the Fold's stricter thickness and weight budgets. Red flag #5. Two coding names, Q8 and H8, point to prototypes, not products. Samsung runs multiple parallel prototypes every cycle. A wider H8 could be a testbed, an ultra variant, or a path that never ships. Without model numbers, certification filings, or component part lists, this is early stage noise, not a confirmed lineup. The idea that a wider variant negates and FIVE model is pure speculation. Different prototypes serve different price and design experiments. Red flag. Y. The outshine Apple's foldable angle is a distraction. Samsung's foldable planning happens years in advance, pivoting core camera hardware to counter a competitor's rumored 2026 foldable isn't how this pipeline works. If Apple arrives with a foldable, Samsung will counter with durability, crease control, hinge reliability, and software continuity areas that matter more to day-to-day foldable users than a token. Megapixel bump. What actually makes sense for? Galaxy Z Fold 8 main camera stability with smarter processing, keeping a high-resolution main, like 200MP, while improving binning, HDR, and motion handling via a newer ISP and on-device AI is the most likely path. That's how Samsung has historically squeezed real-world gains without thickening the phone, ultra-wide refinement over raw megapixels, a higher quality 12MP or moderate 50MP with better optics, reduced distortion, and cleaner edges is more plausible than a larger 50MP claim. Expect lens tuning and algorithmic correction to do the heavy lifting. Telephoto consistency at 3x. If 3x remains, the upgrade might be the sensor quality, stabilization, or lens coatings, not a headline megapixel bump that changes little in practice. UDC evolution, not revolution. Expect incremental clarity and texture improvements through better pixel structure and image fusion, rather than a flashy resolution jump that compromises display transparency. Thinner, lighter, tougher. The Fold line's 2026 priorities are more likely to be durability, crease minimization, hinge reliability, and reduce weight, precisely the areas customers notice every single day. History check. Samsung's Fold strategy isn't about spec theater. Galaxy Z Fold updates have traditionally emphasized form factor, materials, hinge tech, and software multitasking over wholesale camera overhauls. When Samsung wants to flex camera hardware, it uses the S Ultra line. The Fold gets measured, space-conscious updates that respect its engineering limits. How to vet future Galaxy Z Fold 8 camera rumors. Look for model numbers, for example, SMF9 8X variants, in certification databases. Watch for credible lens sensor part leaks. Sunny Optical, Samsung Electromechanics, Sony ISOCELL model IDs. Examine real EXIF data from test photos, focal length, f-stop, sensor tags, rather than recycled renders. Follow weight thickness rumors. Any big camera sensor jump usually shows up on the scale or the calipers. So, should you believe the 2-camera upgrade story? Treat it as speculative at best. The megapixel jumps described don't align with foldable engineering constraints, Samsung's recent product strategy, or how meaningful camera upgrades usually play out on the Fold line. The leaks language blurs key technical distinctions, and the coding name chatter likely reflects prototyping, not final retail decisions. The bottom line on Galaxy Z Fold 8. Don't expect a camera revolution package as 2 simple spec bumps. Do expect Samsung to optimize the main sensor pipeline, tweak the ultra-wide for cleaner edges, keep a pragmatic 3x telephoto, and steadily improve the inner UDC, and to pour most of its energy into making the Fold thinner, lighter, and more durable. When concrete evidence arrives, component IDs, certifications, credible EXIF, then it's time to talk about real upgrades. Until then, this 2-camera upgrade narrative looks more like headline bait than a blueprint for Samsung's 2026 Foldable.